This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. Now, before we get to today's news, today's show is brought to you by MagicBandReaders.com, which allows you to bring some of the magic of a Disney Parks vacation home when you can't be at your favorite vacation destination. These devices allow you to use your Magic Bands at home with your very own Magic Band reader, and these will work with any Magic Band, even the new one, the Plus. They come in over 35 different designs, such as the classic Mickey. There's Fireworks with Happily Ever After. We've shown that one before. There's my personal favorite, the Spaceship Earth, which I won't set off now because it's a full nighttime show that happens on it. We don't have time for that now. But there's even attraction versions like Haunted Mansion, Carousel of Progress, and Splash Mountain. And not only do they interact with your band, they can also control your lights with the Smart Outlet upgrade. In fact, you could turn on your Christmas tree with them. Here we go. There it is. And you could put them on your wall. There's an optional stand you could buy as well. These make a great gift for the Disney Parks fan in your life who already owns everything they sell at the parks. So head on over to waitsigns.com and use code NEWS15 for 15% your order today, either on the Wait Signs or the Magic Band readers. It doesn't matter. It's all there. You can save today. They're great gifts. This is still my favorite, though, because it does a full nighttime show. But anyway, that's our sponsor. Here now the news for November 25th. 2024, although I'm kind of lying because I'm going to go on a rant before we actually get to the news today, because I've had the whole weekend to sit and think about these guys, to think about MuppetVision 3D and what happened. And the more I've sat with it, the angrier and angrier I've gotten as the days have gone on, because so at D23 we had a number of announcements, and for time, if that is the excuse, if for time we did not mention what projects would replace, right? Because we did not mention on that stage, Josh D'Amaro did not mention what Monsters, Inc. was going to replace, obviously. They did not announce what the Cars attractions were going to replace, and they did not announce a number of other things, and including the only one coming to mind for me right now is for California Adventure, where Pandora is going, which the belief is that that's replacing Monsters, Inc. there. A small victory for those of you who now hate Monsters, Inc. because of what's been announced. So in their defense, with the Rivers of America, it was only a couple days later that they came, I think it was Monday. I think on Sunday we said, hey, the Rivers of America and the Riverboat are going, and Tom Sawyer Island are all going to close for this. That's our belief. And then Monday it was confirmed. Obviously, in the case of MuppetVision, we had heard something else. Originally, which, as you know, the Monsters, Inc. roller coaster, no one was talking about it before D23 except us. And so we had every right to believe our source, being correct about other things, obviously would be right about that. But things had changed over time, as is evidenced by the fact that a lot of money was spent on MuppetVision in the last several months, and a lot of other things that have happened in that general vicinity. But either way, Disney came clean on Monday and bit the bullet and, you know, kind of took their public beating for the Rivers of America. Which, if you believe in a project, that's what you have to do, right? I think one of my big problems was the cabins at Fort Wilderness, and generally a lot of things they've done at Fort Wilderness. I have beaten Disney up a lot, and Disney Vacation Club specifically up a lot over that. But the belief is, like, if you guys believe in your project, then bite the bullet, take it, and then show us in the end something that is unbelievable and so much better than what you replaced that no one even cares at that point, right? That's what you have to do. The theme park rule of thumb, no matter if it's Disney or any amusement park or theme park in the world, is whatever you replace something with has to be as good as or better than what came before. That is the rule. It applies to everybody, because every amusement theme park resort in the world has those things that there's things they replaced and we're nostalgic for, but it's clear it was time. And I think, like, the Universe of Energy falls under that, where I miss the Universe of Energy dearly, but it was time. I don't know if Guardians was, we'll have that argument another time. But there's things like that. And then there are things like the Great Movie Ride, where my feeling, and I think the feeling of most people, is it should have been updated rather than replaced. And so in this case, this is a particularly hard, this is hard to swallow, because The Monsters, Inc. roller coaster is not the thing replacing MuppetVision. Monstropolis is the thing replacing MuppetVision, and the thing specifically going in the building that houses MuppetVision is a show that we're not even yet willing to tell you what it is. So you have given me zero faith in this project because you're not even willing to tell me what's going in the building. I don't even know what is the actual thing replacing Monsters, Inc. And that to me says, the whole thing feels extraordinarily disrespectful to the fan base. It is extraordinarily disrespectful. It was disrespectful to remain quiet this long when you knew what the repercussions were going to be. You knew people were going to be upset. You sat there in silence all this time, knowing what you were doing. Just a horrible decision. A horrible decision to be that disingenuous with your most loyal audience. I don't even know what, I'm so angry. The more I've sat with it, the angrier I am about it. But then to come out and be like, there's gonna be a show in there. What is it? I don't know. It's replacing the last work of Jim Henson. Does that name mean nothing to anyone? And look, I am not gonna have an illogical argument with Disney where someone in a boardroom somewhere will sit there and be like, the fanboys are angry. They're angry because we're getting rid of something old that they like, but no one goes in there and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not gonna be illogical with you. I'm gonna be logical with you. And I know people at Disney are gonna watch this. The logic here is, yes, it's a corner of the park that it is hard to get people back into. And so you need to do something to bring that corner to life. If you're gonna put that coaster back there, I get the idea of bringing the whole area to life, blowing out the Stage 1 store, as much as I may hate it, makes sense, it's logical. I don't like it, but it's logical. What's illogical to me in all of this is not moving MuppetVision somewhere. We like to throw it every time we do one of these things where we're gonna replace something people love. Disney will throw out, they haven't thrown it out in this case, but they always throw out that quote from Walt Disney, which is, Disneyland will never be complete as long as there is imagination left in the world. Is there not enough imagination left in the world to figure out how to move a couple of animatronics, a film, and a couple of buckets of 3D glasses? Is my question. Look, there are untouchable things in these parks that it does not matter what the attendance levels are. It simply does not. Those things, number one on that list is great moments with Mr. Lincoln at Disneyland. I've been the only person in there 1,000,000 times. And that doesn't matter to Disneyland management because they understand that belongs to Walt Disney and that is a part of their legacy. Now, that doesn't mean they don't update it over time. That doesn't mean they don't bring new wrinkles in like the Walt Disney show that's going to be in that theater. And it doesn't mean Lincoln doesn't go away for short periods of time throughout history and then come back refreshed. That's all fine, but the promise was always made over those years that Lincoln would return. And it did. They remained true to that promise, to Disneyland's credit. Now, here's the thing. I don't need MuppetVision to reopen in a new space the day after you close it. That's not what I'm asking, because that would be illogical. I'm not even asking for it to be soon after. I'm asking for a promise. Disney, you owe the world a promise that you're going to find a home for MuppetVision. And no, not on Disney Plus, not streaming. It is meant to be seen with a number of effects happening in 360 degrees around you. And no, not on a VR headset, which 12 people own. That is not the answer here. You bought the Muppets. And when you bought the Muppets, you bought the responsibility of maintaining their legacy. And MuppetVision 3D is a very integral part of that legacy. It is, at the very least, the last great work of a great American dreamer, and at the most, it is one of the greatest attractions of all time and his magnum opus. And for that to go away, there's only one left in the world, and that's all there has to be, right? I'm not saying it needs to open in multiple places. I'm not even saying it has to open at Disney World, but it has to go somewhere. They have to find a place. We're exploring options. You saying you're exploring options isn't good enough. It isn't. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not good enough. You're moving the Muppet. Look, the Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster thing I think is great. I love that. That is not a trade-off, though. That is something that should happen independently. But what you've done is you're putting the Muppets down in that corner where the Sunset Showcase Theater is. And look, I understand that you're about to stage a villain show, and people have already worked on that for some amount of time. And I don't think it's fair to those people to erase their work. But there is a villain show opening at Magic Kingdom. And if you want to, I mean, the Muppet marketing writes itself. If you want to give us a promise that that show's going to run for a couple of years until the Magic Kingdom, until the villains are ready to move to their new home at the Magic Kingdom, and then the Muppets are going to take over, you know, that, again, the marketing will write itself. You have the Muppets peering over that little wall at Rock and Roller Coaster, whatever. And again, we'll wait a couple years for the promise that you will give us back this thing that is so important to Walt Disney World and to the legacy of not only the Disney company, but also to Jim Henson and the Muppets. This has to be maintained. In a world where you believe you have to maintain great moments with Mr. Lincoln, that you have to maintain the attractions that have Walt Disney's name on them, which would be the Carousel of Progress and the Enchanted Tiki Room, and in a world where you were forced to, but you did, maintain the legacy of the Country Bear Jamboree, the same thing has to be extended to MuppetVision. The same courtesy has to be extended. If you want to update MuppetVision, make a new one, I mean, I'm not going to fight the march of time there because, you know, it doesn't have to be a museum, but at least in essence and in spirit, MuppetVision must live on. The easy answer is, though, it's less money spent, and that's what's going to ring true with management, is a cheaper option. But nonetheless, management needs to understand that this is important to maintain. Walt Disney World, at its core, is these integral attractions. These several core attractions have to remain as the heart and soul. It's funny enough I hit that. Great movie ride. They are the heart and soul of these individual parks. And the last piece of the soul of Hollywood Studios is MuppetVision. And honestly, even more than my beloved Great Movie Ride, the historical significance to American pop culture is too great with MuppetVision for it to just simply fade away into the darkness. It cannot be a thing. It has to be. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do at home, because this is what works. And I'm going to tell you to not give up, to keep fighting. If you want to write letters, works pretty well. If you want to go on social media and anytime Disney announces something, go underneath and say how displeased you are in a respectful manner, mind you. Don't name call and use derogatory language. But respectfully, continue to voice your opinion that MuppetVision 3D must be, if not kept where it is, at least must be revived somewhere. It must be saved in some meaningful way. Let them know. And again, look, my main anger came, I didn't even realize initially, Disney never posted to any of their social media accounts with the news, despite the fact that they released concept art for a new land at Hollywood Studios. They were so embarrassed and ashamed of what the public was going to say to them that they decided they didn't want their greater public to see that. They wanted you to fade into obscurity with your opinion. And that cannot stand. It cannot stand, and it will not stand. If you believe in this Monsters, Inc. project, bite the bullet, just take the beating and live with it, and believe in your project. But clearly you do not. Clearly you don't believe in this if you're afraid to even announce on your social media what you're doing. You are embarrassed to say what you're doing. That, oh, we're making this a Monsters Land, and there'll be some show. There'll be some sort of monster show in that theater. I don't know what it is. It's something. Don't worry, it's only replacing the life's work of Jim Henson. It's not important. Come on. Post-Chapek, I expect so much more from this regime. I have seen a distinct shift in quality in many respects, but to get on stage and to pretty much lie to people by not eventually admitting to what you were doing, to let months go by in silence until a Friday that you've decided is the prime time to get this news lost in the shuffle, is despicable. It's a Chapek-era move, and I will say this, honestly, this is kind of sad. At least when Bob Chapek announced that the Great Movie Ride was closing, albeit only 3 weeks before it did, at least the Parks blog posted in the post about Runaway Railway that the Great Movie Ride was closing. They actually were willing to admit it to people. If not on stage, at least somewhere publicly, they were willing to admit it. Now, you do have a Parks blog post, but not posting that to social media, you might as well not have posted it at all. So that's my point of view. This has meant no respect to anyone at Disney. This is not personal with anyone, but it's what needs to be said on behalf of the fandom. We love this brand, and I think you do too. I think sometimes it's easy to make those decisions in a boardroom and not walk out to the park and actually think about the decision that's being made or how it affects people. But the thing you don't understand when you look at those numbers, when you look at the Lightning Lane sales and you look at all these things, is the equity you have with people. And your strongest the thing that makes your consumers consume is the emotional connection they have to your brand, to your property, to your attractions, to your characters. You let us develop these emotional connections and then with very little reason sever those emotional connections and then wonder why people are no longer true to your brand. We want to give you money. You've over all these years, you've made us fall in love with this place and all of these things. And there are certain things you have to live with. And some of it is maybe a half-full 3D show. Maybe you just got to bite the bullet and staff a couple cast members in a building that isn't full all day long, right? You're not landlocked. You're not Disneyland to where the argument has to be, well, we can't have half-empty theaters. You have so much land available, right? And look, I'm not telling you the new home of MuppetVision has to be the same size as the previous home. I'm not telling you it has to be the same number of seats. I'm not telling you anything except that the show has to run in a similar fashion to how it runs now. How you achieve that is up to you. You have the Imagineers at your disposal. These people can figure out anything. These creative geniuses will make it happen. But you have to be willing to put the money where your mouth is. You can invest in the future and do all these great new things, but there has to be some amount of respect for your legacy and the emotional connection your audience has to that legacy. That legacy cannot be continually thrown away. So that's my 2 cents on it. Let me know in the comments how you feel. You know, it needs to be said. It needed to be said. I need to get off my chest. I'm sure it's going to ruffle some feathers. I don't really care, because it's the right thing to do, and that's what we do. All right, now I'm going to get to the news. Now, did I say the date? I think I said the date already. I don't even know. I'm so angry. I'm fired up. You should be fired up at home, too. The new Lightning Lane Premier Pass is now available to purchase for guests at any Walt Disney World Resort hotel. Previously, it was limited to select deluxe resort hotels. Beginning Friday, November 22nd, as of that day, Walt Disney World expanded the Lightning Lane Premier Pass pilot to all resort guests. So guests staying at Disney Deluxe and Deluxe Villas, moderate value resorts, and other select hotels are eligible to purchase up to 7 days before the first day of their resort stay for the entire length of their stay up to 14 days. This is the only update to Lightning Lane Premier Pass at this time, and the pass continues to be offered in limited quantities, again, only to resort guests. Those without a Walt Disney World Resort hotel reservation cannot buy the Premier Pass. The Premier Pass offers one-time entry to every Lightning Lane attraction. The price ranges per park are Animal Kingdom $119 to $199 plus tax, EPCOT $149 to $249 plus tax, Hollywood Studios $249 to $349 plus tax, and Magic Kingdom $329 to $449 plus tax. We, of course, tried the new service. You can watch our video review of it both for Disney World and Disneyland, 2 separate videos right here on the channel. As well, Walt Disney World's Lightning Lane Premier Pass has sold out several days of Thanksgiving week for Magic Kingdom. Monday, November 25th was the first date to see Lightning Lane Premier Pass sell out for both the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. And when Thanksgiving Day, November 28th, opened for sales, it also quickly sold out. The Premier Pass was at its highest price for that holiday. It's $449. Now Lightning Lane Premier Pass is sold out for the Magic Kingdom on Saturday, November 23rd, Monday, November 25th, Tuesday, November 26th, and Wednesday, November 27th, as well as Thursday, November 28th. Obviously, some of those dates in the past, but we're trying to give you the full story. And with Premier Pass, again, you buy the service, you get to skip the line one time at all Lightning Lane attractions. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. In a world where people are buying this in droves, are we supposed to believe the Walt Disney Company does not have the money to move a 3D show across a park and bite the bullet and pay for staffing a handful of cast members to work a film that maybe will be half full most of the day? I think they can afford it. Walt Disney World Resort hotel guests can save 25 to 35% on a future resort stay during select dates now through 2025. Guests can save up to 35% on Disney Deluxe or Deluxe Villa Resorts, 30% on select Disney Moderate Resorts, and 25% on select Disney Value Resorts. The offer is available many, many nights. I'm not going to read them all here on the show for time, but again, that full list of resorts and how much they're discounted and those full list of dates at which the discount is available are available at wwnt.com. To take advantage of the offer, though, hotel guests must book within 7 days of their first checkout date. They can modify or cancel reservations without penalty up to 30 days before arrival. Details of this offer will be shared with hotel guests through the in-room collateral on their in-room TVs and emailed to them on the morning of their checkout. It's available to book online or with travel agents. Walt Disney World has added new signs instructing guests on how to gesture to the Fab 50 statues found throughout the resort and no longer advises waving at the statues to interact with them. We first spotted these new signs at Magic Kingdom. They can be found next to those Fab 50 statues. The sign reads, Magic Band Plus, make a circular gesture with your Magic Band Plus to experience the magic. A graphic of a guest waving a circle while wearing a Magic Band Plus is shown on the sign. Previously, guests were encouraged to wave in front of the statues, but sometimes I guess that had spotty results. We also spotted these signs at Hollywood Studios. Of course, these statues were part of the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World, but it was announced they would stay. And since the 50th anniversary, icons have been taken off of them and replaced with other icons or nothing at all. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. The best part is their concierge services are 100% free. There's no crowd here today. So book today. The EPCOT dedication plaque has been reinstalled on a new sign at the park's entrance. The dedication plaque and its old sign were removed in June of this year. The new plaque sign is the same style as the other new EPCOT signage installed over the last few years as part of the park's reimagining. It's black with blue supports on the sides, blue being the color of the World Celebration neighborhood, the entrance land of EPCOT. The hexagon-shaped dedication plaque is the same as before, black with a bronze border and lettering, and under the EPCOT logo, it features Cardwalker's EPCOT dedication speech, under the EPCOT Center logo, I should say. But yeah, I'm glad they keep the old dedication plaques, even as park names and such change. I like at Hollywood Studios that it's still the MGM plaque. Isn't that wild? Holding on to your history and keeping little pieces of it that you deem important to the park. What a wild thought. Soarin' Around the World has quietly debuted new updates to its ride film at EPCOT, adding World Celebration to its ending, and even updating the Eiffel Tower sequence. Due to the curvature of the screen, the Eiffel Tower from many vantage points appeared crooked or to be standing at an angle, but now the entire sequence has been updated, starting the approach to the Eiffel Tower much further away than before, offering a more straightened view of the monument no matter where you sit. And just like the previous Future World ending scene, the Walt Disney World monorail is seen going by as riders approach Spaceship Earth. However, rather than approaching the former Fountain of Nations, Penn Central, and Innoventions, the film now shows the World Celebration neighborhood and the illuminated EPCOT symbol embedded into the ground around a large planter, which doesn't work in real life, but it works in the film. Tinkerbell still appears as before, flying around the screen, and fireworks still explode in the sky behind Spaceship Earth as well. And two final fireworks appear to make Spaceship Earth into a hidden Mickey, serving as its ears. Overall, we also noticed the film looked sharper and clearer, indicating a general upgrade to the entire experience. But this is great. Not only did obviously they had to change the ending because the middle of EPCOT changed, but I love the fact that they listened to the complaint. There's other complaints they can listen to, but I love when they listen. Now they should listen to us on MuppetVision. I'm gonna put a dig in every story today, man. I'm gonna just keep going at it. I may not have one for this story. In celebration in the upcoming Moana 2 movie, the titular heroine is now wearing a new costume for her meet and greet at EPCOT. Moana is now meeting guests in her outfit from Moana 2 in World Nature. Guests can find Moana outside of her journey of water. She usually meets between 9:30 and 3 p.m. 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. intermittently, but guests should check the Showtimes guide or the My Disney Experience app on the day of their visit to get the most up-to-date schedule. Annual Passholder exclusive merchandise has been teased for the 2024 EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays. This limited time holiday merchandise will be available from November 29th through December 30th of 2024. There is a hoodie and there is a pin. These items will be available in Creation Shop starting on November 29th. Pass holders must bring their state-issued ID and have their annual pass to verify eligibility. As well, an annual Passholder exclusive recipe card will be available at EPCOT in December. The card completes a collection of recipes that were mailed to pass holders, at least some of us. I didn't get one. This Passholder exclusive recipe card comes in a blue folder featuring Tiana, Alice, Jack, Miguel, and Snow White. The first four characters inspired the recipes that were mailed to pass holders, while Snow White is the inspiration for the fifth recipe, which is apple pie. The recipe card will include 2 silicone baking stencils shaped like one of the dwarf's diamonds and Mickey Mouse. The gift will be available at the Creation Shop at EPCOT from December 8th through the 18th, from park open to park close. Pass holders must be present to get this. They must present their annual pass card, Magic Mobile Pass, or link to Magic Band or My Disney Experience app, and as well show a government-issued photo ID to retrieve this. Did you know there's a way you could save big at Disney Deluxe Resorts? Well, today's show is brought to you by the DVC Rental Store, a great way for you to plan a luxury Disney vacation on a modest budget. You don't need to sign up for a full DVC contract, but instead they allow you to rent the points you need for a magical stay. It's really the best way to stay deluxe at a fraction of the cost, and now, thanks to their lowest price guaranteed offer, you'll always have the best price on the market. The rooms are sometimes discounted up to 75% off, and they have the largest member inventory for points, so there's a lot to choose from. You can search their availability for free right now, not something all companies offer. And if you do choose to book, they have a great cancellation policy and a low down payment. DVC Rental Store is the #1 DVC rental company in the United States, and one we have used many times even before they were a sponsor, as evidenced by many of our DVC tours right here on the channel. So check them out. The Trader Sam Holiday Rum Barrel Tiki Mug is now available at Trader Sam's Grog Grotto at the Polynesian Village Resort. Trader Sam's is offering their traditional Trader Sam's Holiday Rum Barrel Tiki Mug, say that 5 times fast, served with either a Olu Olu or a Barrel la Oma, I'm going to butcher this, a Barrel la Homa Omaha beverage. The barrel has snow and other festive features around the mug, and a Mickey ornament dangles from the side. This edition of the Holiday Barrel is green, a new colorway for it. The Olu Olu is made with Liar's Cane non-alcoholic spirit, coconut cream, guava syrup, and pineapple and lime juices for a non-alcoholic option. But the Barella La Homa Omaha is made with Gosling's Black Seal rum, coconut cream, guava syrup, and pineapple and lime juices for the alcoholic option. Meanwhile, the second edition of the Trader Sam's Holiday Rum Barrel Tiki Mug, released earlier this week at Walt Disney World, is coming to Disneyland. The mug will be available via mobile order through the Disneyland app on Thursday, December 5th. Mobile orders can be placed through the Trader Sam's mug release on the app as early as 6 a.m. Pacific time. Arrival windows for designated pickup hours for mugs will be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mugs will be sold with the Holiday Mickey Jingle Bell Swizzle Stick, which was also available at the Walt Disney World release. For those who miss out on the mobile order, the mug will be available for sale at Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar starting Friday, December 6th. Disney released the first look at the 2025 Run Disney Coast to Coast Race Challenge medal for guests participating in races at Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort. The medal features Sleeping Beauty Castle in pink and Cinderella Castle in white, and they are in diamonds to either side of the partner statue silhouette. Guests qualify for the Run Disney Coast to Coast Race Challenge if they complete any 10-mile race or longer at both the Walt Disney World Resort and the Disneyland Resort in 2025. Qualifying races at Disneyland Resort are the Disneyland Half Marathon and the Disneyland Halloween Half Marathon. Guests who complete one of these or their respective challenges must also complete one of the following Walt Disney World races, that being the Walt Disney World Half Marathon or Walt Disney World Marathon, the Disney Princess Half Marathon or the Disney Fairy Tale Challenge, the Run Disney Springtime Surprise 10-miler or the Run Disney Springtime Surprise Challenge, the Disney Wine and Dine Half Marathon or the 2-Course Challenge, and other multi-event challenges, including Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge and Dopey Challenge at Walt Disney World Resort, as well as the Dumbo Double Dare and Chills and Thrills Challenge at Disneyland Resort, also count towards qualification for the Run Disney Coast to Coast Race Challenge medal. Virtual races do not count, and guests don't need to register for the Run Disney Coast to Coast Race Challenge separately. The Coast to Coast Race Challenge medal will be available after guests cross the finish line of their second race. As we previously reported, the stunt performers have been removed from The Amazing Spider-Man at Disney California Adventure. A Spider-Man actor still banters on the web rooftop before the Stuntronic, but he performs no stunts. The portion of the show where Spider-Man previously did a series of acrobatics has been cut. He now exits at ground level rather than swinging down the wall. Disney has boasted adding more performances to the show and therefore more opportunities to meet Spider-Man after. The stunt performers previously involved in the show were part of the American Guild of Variety Artists Union. They were notified in October that they would be let go from the role in November. They assumed that meant the end of the show. It did not. So now there's this half-baked version that is performing. The actors now performing Spider-Man are likely just part of Actors Equity. These cuts, as well as the cancellation of Doctor Strange, Mysteries of the Mystic Arts, and the reduction of performances of Warriors of Wakanda, The Disciplines of the Dora Milaje, are all these budget cuts that have come since the unionization of Disneyland performers. It's been a rough time out at Disneyland Resort. You know, we love the Stuntronic, right? The Stuntronic is great. I'm grateful that that remained. But to come out and like gleefully be like, well, actually, we're going to have more shows and we're going to have more Spider-Man meet and greets, when you're firing a bunch of people, it's kind of disgusting. It's really gross. So I'm in a mood today. All these things have put me in a mood. Disney, do better, really. I expect, again, I'm just so disappointed. I expect so much more of this current regime after everything we went through in the Bob Chapek era. I'm kind of disgusted. A special custom Moana 2 print to celebrate the new film is coming soon to Disneyland Resort, exclusive for Magic Key holders. The custom print will be available from Wednesday, November 27th through Friday, December 6th. The print features Moana in her new sequel outfit, Pua, a Kakamora, Hey, Maui, and another Kakamora as they all sail on the waves with Moana's outrigger canoe. The print will be available for pickup during regular operating hours at the following locations while supplies last: Disneyana at Disneyland Park, the Kingswell Shop at California Adventure, and the Wonderground Gallery at the Downtown Disney District. 3 Walt Disney Imagineering projects have been chosen to receive Themed Entertainment Association, or Thea, awards in 2025. Fantasy Springs at Tokyo Disney Sea and Zootopia at Shanghai Disneyland have both earned the Thea Award for Outstanding Achievement Theme Park Land, and this marks the first time that Imagineering has received 2 awards in this category in a single year. Disney will also receive the Thea Award for Outstanding Achievement Technical Innovation in 2025 for the BDX droids. This follows the Stuntronic aerial robots technology we just talked about, which was honored in 2022. The Thea Awards celebrate exceptional achievements in the themed entertainment industry, as well as the creative teams who bring immersive experiences to life. This is what we like to see: Disney innovating and changing the world and making theme parks cooler than ever. More of this and less of all the other things we talked about. Real quick, before I end the show, I want to plug this. Obviously, every Thanksgiving weekend, we do a charity show here at WDWNT to benefit Toys for Tots. That is going to happen again this coming weekend. So starting Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and running all the way through 11 p.m. on Sunday night, including a very large live auction, which you can check out at auction.wdwnt.com, all the items. You can start bidding already. We do this every year, 50-hour marathon to benefit Toys for Tots. All of your favorite shows are a part of it, whether it's, well, not this one, but WDW News Tonight, the WDW News Today podcast, and so much more will be a part of this 50-hour marathon. Please help us raise money for this fantastic charity, which of course makes sure underprivileged kids get a toy this holiday season. This is a charity Walt Disney personally believed in. In fact, his animators drew that first logo, that train that is still part of their logo today, began with Donald Duck riding it. That was the first version of it. So Disney still raises money for this charity, which is fantastic. I'll give them some kudos. I beat them up pretty bad today, so I want to at least give them a pat on the back for the work they do with charities, including Toys for Tots, which is fantastic. But please join us this weekend and be a part of this. And if you can't, please at least donate at toys.wdwnt.com at some point over the next week or so. We really appreciate it. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.